Thank you to the park singers and senior choirs for their wonderful performance of I'll Be On My Way by Sean Kirshner.
Here to welcome us, Superintendent Astein Osei.
Thank you, Greta. Good evening, parents, guardians, guests, and graduates. It's my pleasure to welcome you to St. Louis Park High School's 120th commencement ceremony. Absolutely. This evening, we have the pleasure of seeing 352 St. Louis Park seniors participate in the commencement ceremony, which marks the transition from high school to the next stage in each student's life. It is an honor for me to be here and participate in this celebration with you on this special night. Graduates, each of you have worked extremely hard over the years to get to this moment. And while each of you have traveled your own unique path to get to this point, the one thing that you may have in common is that along the way, there was a family member, a friend, a neighbor, or a loved one that supported you through difficult times. There is a quote I once heard that states, families, friends, loved ones, essentially our community, are the compass that guides us. They are the inspiration to reach to great heights and our comfort when we occasionally fail. As I look in the bleachers and along the fence line, I see thousands of people who I have a suspicion have been there for you through the good and bad times during your pre-K-12 educational experience. We have a core value in St. Louis Park Public Schools that states everyone has the capacity and responsibility to contribute to the well-being of others. It is clear to me that the family and friends that are here this evening to celebrate you have contributed to your support and success along the way. Would you please join me in acknowledging your family and friends that are here this evening? What I appreciate most about the class of 2019 is your commitment to making our school a better place to learn and live. Earlier today, I attended the unveiling of the largest rooftop solar system in the city at Extra Space Solars on Highway 7. And I couldn't help but to think that this has just not happened by chance. This happened because a group of St. Louis Park students got together several years ago and said that we care about the environment, we care about the sustainability of the products that we use, and we care about the future of our planet. This group of students, some of which are sitting in front of me this evening, have influenced our city and now city policy to have one of the most aggressive climate action leadership plans in the country. Either it be in the work of the area of climate leadership, gun violence, gender inclusion, racial equity, I have been impressed by the skills, passion, and attitudes all of you have demonstrated on matters that impact our school community and humanity. I am thankful for your leadership, and there is no doubt in my mind that each of you will find success in the future. I pray that you stay committed to your dreams and continue to interrupt systems and structures that diminish the humanity of others. Coretta Scott King once said, "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." Well, I'm thankful for the compassion each of you have shown to one another and to our school community. As you take the next step in your life, I want you to know how proud I am of each of you. As I look forward to the tremendous impact you will have on our community, our state, the country, and our world. Thank you.
Here to introduce our distinguished alum is Ethan Hoeschen.
Many of you already know the recipient of this year's Distinguished Alumni Award, who is speaking to us tonight. Mark Rosen began his broadcasting career in 1969 while still attending St. Louis Park High School, often praising the instruction he received at Park. After graduating in 1970, he attended the University of Minnesota, as well as gaining a full-time broadcasting position at WCCO. The man with the best seat in the house has always pushed for authenticity throughout his 50-year tenure and has made great contributions not only to the local St. Louis Park area, but also to the state of Minnesota as a whole. Please join me in welcoming this year's St. Louis Park High School Distinguished Alumni Award recipient, Mark Rosen.
Got to get my earbuds in. Well, maybe not. They say they can take the kid out of St. Louis Park, but you can't take St. Louis Park out of the kid. And that is so true for me. I can't believe this scene tonight. I'm flashing back to my own graduation, which was almost 50 years ago. And in fact, I was just having a discussion with a good friend of mine. I just got back from Chicago celebrating my wedding anniversary this week and ran into a friend of mine, one of 900 some kids that graduated in 1970. We had huge classes back then. But we were discussing our 50-year reunion next year and thinking about our friends that you have here today and how that's going to translate over the years as you grow into your next occupation, you grow with families, and how important these relationships are. You'll never forget them. I have goosebumps thinking about where I'm at tonight. My mom, in particular, wouldn't believe it because I was not a standout student. I was not a standout athlete, but I believed in what the teachers taught me here, in particular at St. Louis Park. I had some extraordinary teachers. I can't remember sometimes where I parked my car last week, but I guarantee you I remember the lesson that my journalism teacher, Hattie Steinberg, gave me back in 1970. And it resonates in my head, much the way that Pete Peterson, who taught me about film studies, resonated with me. These were very special people, very special times, and it's all about St. Louis Park. I mean, my family grew up here. I grew up here over on 27th and Hampshire as a little kid, went to Lenox Community School, now a grade school at that time, then transferred to Cedar Manor in the middle of 5th grade, went to Westwood Junior High, and then eventually to St. Louis Park. But just extraordinary neighbors, extraordinary connections, and extraordinary times, because these are the people that meant the most to me. I mean, everything as you get older requires work, research, and thought. Don't leave it to someone else, and don't phone it in. There really is no such thing as a shortcut. If you're going to turn in good work, nothing is casual, and take it seriously. I mean, the climb is really everything, and I think you'll discover that. In a blink of an eye, I'm sure your folks and your friends are looking at you right now. As the superintendent said, it seems just like yesterday you were going to preschool or grade 1 or grade 2. I had the same thing happen with my kids, and here you are graduating high school. Well, I feel that same way about how these last 49 years have gone for me, in a blink of an eye. And these are very special relationships to hold on to. I mean, you're going to hear a lot about pursue your passion. Do what brings you joy in your life. Find it and work on it, and don't take those shortcuts. And some of you may find that, and some of you may find a tougher road ahead as far as employment goes. But I think you have to look yourself in the mirror and go understand that failure is part of succeeding. I failed so many times at Channel 4 while I was moving up the ranks. I failed every single day, but I showed up every day. That's 95% of it, showing up every day and discovering that you do have that passion, and when you take advantage of it, you don't let go. And so for me, every time I got to mention St. Louis Park High School doing something on Channel 4, I was beaming from ear to ear because I thought of the people who are now going to this school. I mean, I get my hair cut right across the street here, so I'm here every once a month now that I got more hair. So I believe in this community. The McDonald's is still here, which was one of the first McDonald's, I think, in the state of Minnesota. And we all have stories about skipping out, maybe going to McDonald's once in a while. But these are fond memories. A lot of the buildings haven't changed. My little house that I grew up on in 27th and Hampshire that my parents paid, I think, $7,000 or $8,000 for, still stands. And I drive by that. And I think of the great neighbors we had. And I get choked up thinking about it because they were so important to me. But these are times to cherish. Enjoy them with your friends. Enjoy them with your family. And the next step will be more and more exciting. You have a lot of great challenges ahead. I love seeing the diversity in this school and what's gone on at St. Louis Park. I've had a chance to talk about what's going on with the big fundraising and what this school is going to be, from Cedar Manor to St. Louis Park High School. There's such a great future in this community. And I know the competition's really tough for everyone out there. But I can look at these faces out there, and I guarantee you 5 years now, 10 years from now, you're going to be looking back on this night and saying, this is where it all started. In a lot of ways, it ends tonight, but in a lot of ways, it starts tonight. So I know you want to hear from, more importantly, from the speakers themselves, the students themselves. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for inviting me here tonight and giving me this wonderful award. I take a lot of pride in Oriole pride. The people I went to school with, the Thomas Friedmans, the Cohen brothers, people who made St. Louis Park really stand out. And that tradition will continue with all of you. So thank you so much for this honor tonight, and really enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cecilia Schmelsley, and tonight I have the pleasure of introducing my fellow valedictorians. Cyrus Abrahamson, Emma Kempf, Yonique Krebs, Alexis Lee, Greta Long, Maria Mosby, Ilsa Olsen, Danny Orloff, Jack Ostrowski, and Hallie Weinman.
This year, the valedictorians decided to do something different. We acknowledge that academic accomplishments are not the only accomplishments within the high school experience. We invited 4 students that were nominated by the senior class to share their own perspective in addition to the valedictorian speakers: Maddie Eduardo-Gonzalez, Anna Kasper, Ami Kuyateh, and Chardonnay Wallace.
Good evening. My name is Danny Orloff. It is an honor to be addressing you all tonight as one of Park's 11 valedictorians in the class of 2019. I want you all to take a moment to think back to our first day of freshman year on September 8th, 2015. I vividly recall that day, and I'm sure many of you do as well. It may have been the excitement of this next chapter in our high school career, or in my case, the anxiety of attending a public school for the first time. But I remember that I immediately jumped out of the car as it approached the foyer doors. As I rushed into the high school, which I would soon find out was an unsolvable maze, I neglected to take notice to the horns honking in the distance. At the time, these seemed to be from the plethora of yellow school buses, which had also been a foreign sight to me. I would soon find out, however, that it was my mom honking, trying to get my attention, for I had left my lunchbox and phone in the car. It was quite the rookie mistake. Given this ill-fated notion, you may think that the day continued in a similar fashion. However, as I went from class to class that day, I was overwhelmed by the multitude of peers that approached me simply to say welcome and introduce themselves. Never before had I felt more at home. As we continued through high school, I found myself serving as the editor-in-chief of Echo, Park's student-run newspaper. For me, when I reflect back on these last 4 years, what stands out are the late nights working on our print publication with my fellow staffers, bonding over content, copy, and coffee. But that's just me. In these halls, each one of us found our own niche. So I ask you, what did you do? What sport did you play? What club were you in? Your relationships may have been built on this football field, on the theater stage, or in the chemistry lab. It may have even been when you spoke to the new girl in your band class on the first day of freshman year. We are leaving today with more than just a diploma, with more than just a piece of paper. We are leaving with 4 years of accumulated friendships and memories. At the end of the day is this special community that has brought us all here tonight, unified on the stadium turf. Class of 2019, let's not make the same mistake that I made freshman year. While we may not risk losing our lunchbox or phone, we will never get this precious time back. We have all been counting down toward this day, rushing since the first day of freshman year to graduate. Now that we are here, it is hard to fathom that this will be the last time we are all together. As we start the next chapter in our lives, wherever and whatever that may be, remember what's important. What makes this place so special is its sense of community. It's what I felt on that first day of freshman year, and it's what we all felt these past 4 years. May we all find that community in the years ahead. Congratulations, my friends.
Hey everyone, how are you all doing tonight? Good. Yeah. I want to tell you all a story. 17 years ago, a woman left the United States to go to another country. After spending a few weeks there, she came back home carrying a baby in her arms. The baby had been left by her birth parents on the steps of a hospital. The woman gave the orphan an American name and brought her to a town called St. Louis Park, Minnesota. The baby grew up into a child that enjoyed playing foursquare on the basketball court of Susan Lincoln Elementary and reading books such as Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. Upon entering high school, she created more memories. She went to her first homecoming game, debated on if she should try to get the IB diploma, then decided she valued her sleep more. Someday, she strutted through the hallways feeling on top of the world, while other days, she couldn't wait for the day to end. She and her friends, when they weren't focused on their studies, would tease each other about their crushes, giving them code names and hoping to accidentally bump into them in the hallways. She lost friends, she gained others, she failed, she succeeded. She learned not only about calculus and Buddhism and DNA, but also about humility and being appreciative of those who give back to us. High school is also when the child started to have a deeper understanding of how we are shaped by the people around us. Every time we are praised by a teacher or a coach, laugh with our friends, or cry with our siblings, we grow up just a little bit more. The child I speak about stands before you today as a young woman ready to graduate. I wanted to share this story with you because I think it's proof that if some invisible thread could connect me, a 1-year-old orphan, with a mother on the other side of the world, then I have to believe there's an invisible thread that connects us all. It's the reason that out of all of the towns I could have lived in, and all of the people I could have grown up with, that is with you, all of you, that I'm lucky to have shared my story with. It is not grades or mistakes that define us. It is our story. And by logic, if there is such a thing as fate bringing us together at this point in our lives, whether you're a student, family member, friend, or educator, then somehow you will all end up meeting exactly the people you are supposed to in order to become who you are. Who am I? All of you know me by my American name, Anna. However, before I leave the stage to the other graduates, I would like to share with you my Chinese name. It is Hongyu, which means red universe. In Chinese culture, that means to have good fortune. I wish the class of 2019 the best fortune for years to come. Thank you.
Everyone says senior year passes in the blink of an eye, but I never realized until now how true it really is. It feels like we were just at the first football game, tailgating in the toga dress code. First semester only just ended, where we took our last finals of high school. We only just had spring break. Prom was still a ways away. Graduation was always something off in the distance, but now we're here. We made it. This year, the most important lesson I've learned is to be in the moment. From stressing over college decisions to reminiscing over old memories and waiting for high school to finally be over, it's easy to live with one foot in the past and one foot in the future. It gets too easy to just put our heads down and plow through life without stopping to think about where we are now. Although learning to live in the moment has been strengthened this year, it's been important to me since I was little. As some of you may know, I am a childhood cancer survivor. Though my family and I could have spent time worrying about how my leukemia might have been prevented or what was going to happen to me, we learned the importance of being present. So, we got a puppy, we went to Hawaii, we did everything we could to get through that time. As we understood well, the past can't be changed and the future can't be predicted. The only thing that we have control over is the now. This year, our looming graduation has been a constant reminder that we're at a threshold in our lives. A quote by author Kamal Ravikant says, "Once you cross a threshold, you will never be the same." After graduating, our surroundings will change, and so will we. There are so many unknowns in our lives, especially in this space between what has been and what will be, but we can always take a second to pause and just be here. For the past 4 years, St. Louis Park has been our St. Louis Park High School has been our home. This is where we cheered on our underdog home football team all the way to state. This is where we had our high school dances and saw people in a much different light the following day. This is where we drove around late at night with friends, finding little parts of the city to call our own. This is where we struggled through school every day, waiting to hear the comforting tone of the final bell. Walking through the halls on a daily basis, we grow accustomed to seeing the same familiar faces. But tonight is the last time we will all be in the same space together. St. Louis Park will always be a home for us, but this group, the class of 2019, will never be gathered in exactly the same way. In 5 years, we may not have the same friends or interests as we do now, and that's okay. I'm sure we will forget at least some of what we learned in class, but we will treasure all the memories, all the friends, and all the experiences that St. Louis Park High School has brought us. Let's savor this moment together.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Let me put this on real quick. Awesome. Okay, When I was a kid, I thought I knew how my high school experience would go. Like, no doubt at all. I would be a straight A student, have a 4.0 GPA, and be the most popular kid in high school. No troubles at all, right? Boy, was I wrong. My high school experience turned out more differently than I expected. I remember the first day, coming in as a freshman at St. Louis Park High School. The first day was actually fun. The teachers were so nice, and the students. It was like a dream I did not want to end. But of course, reality came crashing through. First, homework, then projects. Oh, and let's not forget the quizzing and assessments. I was already overwhelmed enough, but there was one thing to put the cherry on top of all the stress. See, back then, I was a different kind of person. I always cared what people had to say about me. I used to let other people tell me who I was or should be. Crazy, right? I came to the conclusion that I needed to change basically everything about myself. Sophomore year came rolling by, and I thought changing who I was would be the solution for everything, but it really wasn't. I was still being made fun of. People's words got to me hard. It was really affecting to the point I didn't want to go to school anymore. I started to skip classes, did horrible on my tests, and didn't even bother doing my homework. Junior year was worse. I couldn't take it. I just felt so horrible about myself. I started to believe I knew how my life would play out, that I won't succeed in anything and will always be a failure. Wait, pause. What am I thinking? Failing my classes for what? Because of people? Selling myself for less because what he thinks or what she thinks? Negative. This wasn't the mindset I wanted to have anymore. Senior year was different. I had one mission, and that was to graduate. I knew I had to study hard, listen to my teachers, and of course, believe in myself. I had to keep a new type of mindset in my head. Nobody's gonna stop me. I will make it. Thinking that every day brought me to where I am today, here sharing my story. I thought I wouldn't make it, but look at me now. And I really just want to thank everyone who helped me along this journey, and I want to leave you all with this. Sometimes you have to fail to achieve. You have to struggle to succeed. You don't feel any pain, it will be impossible to gain. You're feeling sad, you're feeling weak, you're feeling like you're not good enough. No, don't put your head down. Lift your head up high. You got this. It's okay to face problems. If I hadn't had gone through the things I did, I wouldn't be as strong as I am today. You know, high school has really taught me a lot. Don't ever let anyone decide who you are. This is your story, not theirs. You define yourself. Know your worth. You will make it. Everyone's story is different. Don't be scared to share yours. Thank you! Oh, shoot. Okay.
So I'd like to start by talking about the Icterus galbula, also known as the Oriole. Hopefully you know, we've been here for 4 years, that the Oriole is our school mascot and our school motto is Orioles Fly Together. After hearing a rumor last year that Orioles do not actually fly together, I did a little research and found that Orioles are in fact a solitary species. While this fact may appear to crush our school motto, in some ways it truly better reflects who we are. Independent people who have learned to be unique individuals throughout our time in high school. Not to be too cheesy, but we are all about to leave the nest, going off to college, a job, military service, or on an adventure flying all the way across the world. It is our sense of individuality that makes St. Louis Park High School so great. Despite our differences and our independent Oriole nature, we have all found a way to build a community here at Park. No matter if you've been in the district since the fall of 2006, like me, or if you have joined our community within the last year, we have all become who we are today because of each other. We are a community that is made up of people with completely different backgrounds and experiences who are about to be scattered across the world. No matter where you end up, don't forget where you came from and that this place will always be our home. I am proud to be an Oriole and call St. Louis Park my home, and I am thankful to have grown up with all of you. So let's fly and take our unique individuality out into the world. But always remember, Orioles fly together.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Madeline Eduardo-Gonzalez. I'm African American, Caribbean, and white, and I'm also a proud member of the class of 2019. I'm here because I was chosen by my peers to speak tonight, so I want to thank our 11 valedictorians who decided that another voice needed to be represented. I'm here to represent those students whose voices are usually not heard, whose voices are often marginalized, and whose history is seen as an elective. This moment is for you, tonight is for you. So here's what I need you to understand. Just because we go to the same school doesn't mean we get the same treatment. And just because we live in the same community doesn't mean we have the same experiences. For students of color going to a school that emphasizes its commitment to diversity, we should feel included and celebrated. But yet there are still practices that I see to the contrary. You do not get applauded for only putting diversity on your newspaper or for having included the one black or brown student in your class. You do not get applauded for only asking my opinion and still upholding the status quo. Telling me my mother and my grandmother raised me right is not a compliment, but an insult to me, while you assume my father had nothing to do with it. And separating the only two students of color in the class, and one of them being me, causes me to feel isolated and on display, while the white students continuously bond in their superiority. You patronize me when you give me a backhanded compliment like, I'm gonna remember you because of your hair, when you say you will remember other students by their intelligence. Diversity should not be the responsibility of those who are marginalized. It is all of our responsibility. It is our responsibility, class of 2019. Diversity on its own is not enough. Our goal should be equity, giving each person what they need to be successful. Giving them what they need to live out SLP's mission statement, whether you are at SLP or wherever you go from here. So my hope is that SLP will ensure all students, not just some, will attain their highest level of achievement. SLP will prepare all students, not just some, to contribute to society. And SLP challenges all students, not just some, to meet high standards. And when SLP does this, then my spirit, your spirit, and the spirit of those who don't fit into a box will be energized and enhanced. Congratulations, 2019. Thank you.
High school. I am sure these words spark widely different emotions for everyone. I recognize that not only everyone has had the same experience during their time here. However, I hope that as we leave Park to go our separate ways, we are able to use what we had learned over the past 4 years, whether it came from a classroom or not, to create positive change in the world. I want to take this time to let each and everyone know that moving forward, we have the ability to change the world. If you see injustice in the world, I encourage you, no, I challenge you to push yourself toward taking action against issues such as racism, climate change, and gun violence. I've already seen students at Park voice their opinions against these issues in our own community. So I'm confident that our generation is more than ready to put our voices to good use. The world is truly in our hands, as cliche as it sounds, and I, for one, can't wait to see what we do with it. Congratulations, class of 2019. We're graduating. Now, let's get to work.
First, I'd like to welcome everyone to this amazing occasion. It's been a long 4 years, but we're gathered here today on the threshold of our future, realizing that it's closer than we thought. Well, today it begins. I started at St. Louis Park as a junior, excited for the first day of school, knowing that this year was my most important school of high school. The following year, the Non-Traditional Academy, or NTA, has changed me in so many ways. I'm a young adult now who has learned not to be a ball hogger, to work well with others, and I share my leadership skills with everyone. Now here we are. Some of us will go to college, others will head straight into the workforce, but each of us will travel through our own paths. So on this day, I want to give a special shout out to our teachers. Thank you for sharing your time, talent, and knowledge with us. Even though we know it's your job to do so, you guys always did above and beyond. You guys stayed after work hours. Oh my God. You guys planned assignments and took the time to repeatedly teach them because we weren't paying attention or on our phones. You stayed after work hours to help with assignments or projects when you could have went home to your families. Most of all, teachers, thank you for your high demand of excellence from us, even when we wanted to give up. I also want to give a special thanks to our parents for supporting us in ways that may have seemed impossible. Long night essays, the proofreadings, and making sure I didn't forget to write my name on my paper. You guys dragged us out of bed even when we set several alarms and slept through them. To our coaches and advisors, thank you for making school more about classwork. We learned the importance of discipline and the importance of good sportsmanship. We learned how to work well closely with others to achieve a common goal. To our custodial and lunchroom staff, thank you for fajitas and for keeping our schools safe and clean. To our administration and support staff, thank you for keeping things running smoothly and setting the utmost leadership. To our guidance counselors, thanks for listening and for trying to keep us on track for graduating. Thanks to everyone, we will pay the debt of gratitude forward. We may not have the power to inspire the entire world to strive for success, but we do have the power to achieve success for ourselves. My challenge to you all and to myself is to do all that you can to reach your full potential. If each of the graduating seniors in this class could do that, just imagine the effect it would have. The future is truly now in our hands, so let's make the best of it. Congratulations, class of 2019.
Hello, everyone, and good evening. My name is Cailey Hansen-Mahoney, and I've had the delight to serve as Student Council Co-President this year with Alexis Machoka. Alexis is one of the smartest leaders and strongest women that I know, and I'm really excited you all get to hear her speak tonight.
As you probably already know, everyone cries. But if you know me, then you know that I cry a ridiculous amount compared to most. In situations that most people wouldn't and probably shouldn't, but I'm not most people. I cried at freshman year orientation when Mr. Myers told our class about what would be expected of us over the next 4 years. Not because I was nervous, but because I knew this chapter of our lives would go by so fast. I cried during pre-calc just about every day because I just couldn't understand it and convinced myself that meant I wouldn't be able to go to college. I cried whenever with the large group of my peers because seeing all of them in one place, knowing that soon we wouldn't all hang out like this anymore, hurt in a way I still can't explain. I cried in the stands at the end of the football season as I cheered on what had been some of my closest friends as they played their last game on the turf. I cried at the thought of this moment, when I would stand on this stage in my cap and gown in front of the people who supported me, encouraged me, laughed with me, and of course, cried with me. The list of times you've likely seen me cry goes on, and the amount of tears that have been shed could probably fill the school's pool. Because of this, you might be surprised there is one part of my life that I've never cried about. In the 6th grade, I moved to St. Louis Park with my birth mom, a recovering addict. One day, as I left for school, I saw that my mom had relapsed. I went to school that day and every day after it with that moment as my motivation. Eventually, I was taken from my mom. Within 2 hours, I unknowingly packed a bag with all I would have for the next year and was dropped off at a group home and eventually placed into foster care. After a year away, I was given the opportunity to return to Park. Upon returning, I worried that if I told anyone what I was going through, they would judge me, or even worse, pity me. So I ignored their questions then and have continued to do so for the last 4 years. I never shared my story with my peers, teachers, or even my closest friends, even when they would ask, because I was embarrassed and scared they would treat me differently. I didn't want anyone to expect less of me. I felt as though my story would only be relevant if I could make it to where I am now. My worries have not yet gone, but I needed to share my story so that I can be an example for students who have been in situations like mine. But this isn't about the hardships I've experienced. It's about us knowing we can overcome anything that life throws at us. I hope you learn from my story. I hope you learn to not be judgmental of the people around you because you never know what they might be going through. I hope you learn that you are not your circumstance, where you come from, or what people may say or think about you. Your future is in your hands. You hold the pen, and you will always get to choose how to write your next chapter. Today, we are celebrating not only our individual accomplishments, but what we all have overcome to get here. We have learned so much from each other in the last 4 years, things we could have never learned anywhere else. So, the class of 2019, it has been a wild ride, but I loved every moment, even when I didn't. I loved being your class president, your friend, your classmate, and in a few moments, we'll throw our caps in the air, finally closing this chapter, and I can confidently say that I wouldn't have wanted any other group to have been along with me for the ride. I can't wait to see how you all write your next chapters. Thank you.
I would like to welcome Principal Scott Myers to introduce the class of 2019.
All right, good evening, parents, families, guests, and graduates. This is always an amazing time for me. 2019 is no exception. This class that's here in front of you is an amazing group of young leaders. And as you've just witnessed by hearing them speak their truths on stage, they're ready to help our world become a better place. I, each day, walk the hallways and think about how the future lives within our building. And as I put my words together for tonight, I actually had to pare them down because as I heard students practicing their speeches, as I saw what they were doing in the hallways, it's about the kids. It's about what they're doing, and it's about their ability. I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin, and people had many similar experiences to me. And one thing I love about St. Louis Park is we are the world here at school, and we are the future here in the hallways. And as a principal, on my hardest days, on my saddest days, on the days where I struggle, I look to students to lighten my load, to give me hope for the future. In 2019, you're no exception. Many of the contributions that your classes have made, or that your class has made in our school, are going to have a lasting impact that will help us realize our strategic plan. For that, I thank you. My greatest hope for the class of 2019 is that the high-quality education provided to you at St. Louis Park High School creates opportunities throughout your lives to share your truths, to speak your truth, and to lead courageously in the world. Good luck to you all in your future endeavors.
And now it is my great pleasure to welcome School Board Chair Nancy Gores to the podium.
Good evening. I am Nancy Gores, Chair of the St. Louis Park School Board, and proud of that honor. In my opinion, this is the best day of the school year. Thank you for being such a wonderful class. We are all proud of you. I hope you are proud of yourselves. I hope you can feel the love and support that surrounds you. I hope you know that you will continue to have that support as you go forward from here. And I hope you know that in good times and bad times, you can call home, call a friend. Today is June 6th. 75 years ago, it was D-Day. A generation met its challenge of its time. To quote a veteran, let us never forget that when they were young, they saved the world. This is your time. Your generation will have its call, and you will meet it. I have full confidence. Our SLP mission says that there is a goal to prepare all students to contribute to society. You are prepared to meet that goal, and you're going to do fine, and you give us all hope. Finally, I hope you will take time to enjoy life. To quote the great Maya Angelou, I've learned that making a living is not the same as making a life. So make a life.
All right, some of you may have noticed next to our podium here, we have a planter with the St. Louis Park logo. This planter is placed in memory of the deceased members of 2019's graduating class. Tonight, we specifically acknowledge Abdullahi Sharif. St. Louis Board Education Chair Gores, the seniors assembled here this evening have completed all the requirements established by the St. Louis Park School Board, the State Board of Education, and the North Central Association of Secondary Schools. I recommend these students be awarded their diplomas this evening. It is with great pride and confidence that I present to you the class of 2019.
Principal Scott Myers, on behalf of the St. Louis School Board, on behalf of the St. Louis Park School Board, it is my honor to formally accept the class of 2019 as graduates of St. Louis Park High School. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations, class of 2019. I'm gonna borrow some words from Ami, who was up here earlier. You got this, and you did it. Congratulations, class of 2019. All right, let's give this group a round of applause as they stand up and celebrate. This is the end of our ceremony. Congratulations, you guys. Go. This is why you shouldn't have left earlier to throw water balloons. Toss your hats. My apologies. I'm going to do the most important part, which is to acknowledge you up here on stage. Thank you very much.
I think so.
Aisha Abdi.
Soda Abdi.
Subain Abdi.
Abdullahi Abdullahi.
Cyrus Abrahamson.
Azar Abshir.
Grace Adams Moss.
Jamelia Addison.
Mahad Ade.
Lola Adelabu.
Steve Adeline.
Mohammed Aiden.
Ridwan Aiden.
Lensa Ahmed.
Mahamud Ahmed.
Muna Ahmed.
Ahmed Aidid.
Ahmed Ali.
Anisa Ali.
Ayan Ali.
Muna Ali.
Lily Anderson.
Luke Anderson.
Sarah Anderson.
Christopher Annenson.
Caitlin Arf.
Leslie Arias Montoya.
Ezra Arcus.
Anastasia Ambrecht.
Detrell Armstrong.
Natalie Ani.
Gaida Azem.
Sarah Beckus.
Kyle Ballinger Gilmore.
Amaya Barajas.
Griffin Barden.
Aiden Barnes Driscoll.
Adam Bauer.
Tiana Beeman.
Nicholas Beaton.
Maximilian Bechtold.
Ezekiel Beltran.
Jacob Benbow.
David Benjamin.
Beck Berglund.
Sabria Bilal.
Bella Berkland.
Becca Bjorgard.
Britta Bjorgard.
Chloe Blodgett.
Brahim Bruzrada.
Luke Boyum.
Dylan Brandt.
Cecilia Brown.
Matthew Brown.
Joanna Bruce.
David Bryant.
Nahama Buckbinder.
Zachary Bunkholt.
Julio Bergara Lara.
Angela Burgara Vergen.
Alejandro Caceres Aranda.
April Callahan.
Natalia Carabajo.
Culver Carden.
Hope Cassman.
Margarito Castaneda Benitez.
Zion Chappelle.
Gavin Charpentier.
Nawang Chunzi.
Catherine Christensen.
Maggie Christensen.
Annika Christensen.
Justin Chu.
Quentin Cloutier.
Timothy Collins.
Jenna Cook.
Kayla Corcoran.
Aiden Colley.
James Cullen.
Calvin Da Silva.
AJ Dot.
Anand Dutt.
Sean Davenport.
Sophia Davenport.
Anthony David.
Yona Davis.
Anidra Davis.
Makezo Dedefo.
Maxwell Dean.
Savitri Denorain.
Nietzsche Dual.
Emander Deward.
Ifra Degadu.
Samson Diamond.
Luciano Diaz Hauregi.
Tulsi Dilraj.
Noel Druxman.
Erica Dudley.
Brett Duncan.
Madeline Eduardo-Gonzalez.
Yusuf Abbasel.
Jakayla Ellis.
Shakayla Ellis.
Spencer Enright.
Lindsay Epstein.
William Erdman.
Grace Farley.
Akili Ferris.
Abigail Feldman.
Leo Finley.
Emmett Fonner.
Jeremy Fromm.
Dejanay Freelix.
Andrew Friedrichsen.
Mary Fuentes.
Samuel Gage.
Miriam Ganyu.
Wyatt Gann.
Lara Garcia.
Caroline Garland.
Alessandro Gianetti.
Marco Giovanelli.
Brenda Givens.
Mary Gleason.
Amanda Glidden.
Daniel Nolly.
Owen Goddard.
Mia Goff.
Eva Goldfarb.
Dylan Gruyere.
Olivia Gensel.
David Gutierrez.
Creston Halstead.
William Halverson.
Grace Hammond.
Jackson Hand.
Will Hannon.
Cailey Hansen-Mahoney.
Annika Hansen.
Jack Hansen.
Abdul Kadir Harby.
Catherine Hardy.
Ryan Harnanen.
Javana Harsin.
Hodan Hassan.
Calvin Hatcher.
Benjamin Hauer.
Henry Hine.
Hans Helberg.
Darius Hendry.
Aiden Henry.
Alicia Hernandez Guzman.
Treviante Heron.
Donovan Hill.
Ethan Hoeschen.
Madeline Hoffman.
Nels Hoika.
Max Holden.
Tommy Holmes.
Miranda Hogenrod.
Sydney Hosfield.
Francis Hauk.
Noah Hauser.
Jacob Houts.
Keyshawn Howard.
Susanna Hu.
Violet Huber.
Ahmad Hudspeth.
Daniel Hunnigs.
Brian Quinn.
Mohammed Ibrahim.
Abigail Intfeld.
Habak Ise.
Ise.
Emmanuel Iwe.
Najma Jama.
Kaha Jara.
Naomi Jefferson.
Anna Jennison.
Samuel Jensen.
Tanner Jensen.
Aaliyah Johnson.
Andy Johnson.
Brendan Johnson.
Colin Johnson.
Lillian Johnson.
Madeline Johnson.
Naya Johnson.
Elena Yomi.
Roderick Jones.
Ethan Kahn.
Aaron Kasich.
Anna Casper.
Nolan Kelly.
Emma Kemp.
Elizabeth Kent.
Isaac Kimmel.
Benjamin Klepfer.
Carter Klimick.
Jade Conan.
Adam Kowski.
Yonique Krebs.
Casey Cry.
Zinedine Creighton.
Lily Kalevsky.
Ami Kuyateh.
Maisie Lanesbury.
Jessica Ledholm.
Alexis Lee.
Alexander Lehman. Matthew Liedenberg.
Melissa Yamas Moreno.
Kenan Limoji.
Greta Long.
Jeriel Lopez Pereira.
Angelica Lopez Solis.
Richard Lucier.
Grace Lynch.
Alexis Machoka.
Alejandro Manzano Gomez.
Daniel Martinez.
Rachel Madsen.
Gabriel McKay.
Elizabeth McAllen.
Patriot McDonald.
Madison McIntosh.
Nicholas Medina.
John Meyer.
Eleanor Mays.
Claire Middleton.
Lul Minas.
Mustafa Mayer.
Samaje Mitchell.
Ahmed Mohammed.
Ayanle Mohammed.
Fatuma Mohammed.
Hibo Mohammed.
Idris Mohammed.
Nada Mohammed.
Shukran Mohammed.
Adna Mohamud.
Aini Mohamud.
Marian Mohamud.
Serena Moore.
Krista Morehauser.
Anya Morrison.
Maria Olivia Mosby.
Rakia Muse.
Greta Nakarud.
Ayana Nathan.
Evelyn Nelson.
Maxwell Nelson.
Daniel Nicholson.
Kunga Norzen.
Carson Novi.
Bryn O'Gara.
Morgana Oberdorfer.
Anthony Odens.
Bowden Olhafen.
Sophia Ullman.
Ilsa Olsen.
Jacob Olsen.
Jonathan Olsen.
Lindsay Olsen.
Ladan Omar.
Sharice Andara.
Millicent Orenge.
Danielle Orloff.
Muhsin Osman.
Muna Osman.
Jack Ostrovsky.
Haley Achuri.
Thomas Pelovitz.
Gerald Perlman.
Kayla Perez.
Aaliyah Peterson.
Emma Peterson.
Anil Pillay.
KJ Preston Pepperell.
Najib Rahal.
Libby Ramsberger.
Loretu Revez.
Layla Raymond.
Anthony Rayson.
Finnegan Redden.
Kalima Robinson.
Adrina Rodriguez.
Savannah Romero.
Vesely Romo Burgos.
Shalia Rushing.
Beck Rusley.
Chelsea Salas Rea.
Rachel Zalzer.
Anaya Satchel.
Macy Savage.
Cecilia Schmelsley.
Madeline Schmitz.
Christopher Shones.
Samantha Shug.
Ashley Severson.
Mohammed Sharif.
Dilpaneet Singh.
Jonathan Sorotin.
Paige Slavic.
Aaron Sledge.
Torrance Sly.
Brianna Smith.
Jaron Smith.
Jacqueline Solis Cano.
Marley Spears.
Krishana Spencer.
Samantha St. Clair.
William Stibe.
Devin Stanley.
Grace Steffi.
Claudia Stone.
Isaac Swartz.
Oliver Swenson.
Franklin Tamay Pineda.
Elizabeth Tapia Vizcarra.
Samantha Tate.
Brianna Thompson.
Latrell Thornton.
Ava Townsend.
Amber Tran.
Estelle Tronson.
Althea Grace Tyler.
Joseph Vinica.
Brandon Lee Valenzuela Ramirez.
Mikal Vargas.
Braulio Villagaray.
Maria Luisa Vivoni.
Chardonnay Wallace.
Delaney Wallerick.
Neil Walsh.
Valen Watson.
Hallie Weinman.
Haley Westwood.
Roman Wheeler.
Quinn Whitlow.
Daisy Widboom.
Leo Wilgen White.
Oliver Willett.
Mariana Williams.
Jada Witherspoon.
Patrick Wolfbauer.
Evan Worrell.
Emma Yarger.
Rachel Young.
Zoe Zajac.
Leo Siegel.
All right, families and graduates, my apologies. We'll do this the right way this time. A little too much sun and excitement had me ready for this moment. Congratulations, 2019, you did it!